Yeah, channel. So tonight we're going to try a different kind of rub. I've found this swine and Dine pork seasoning. And I'm pretty sure it's the same ones who make the butcher's axe. So we're going to try this on some Australian pork or ribs. Mind the glare. I've just got the TV on the background. So let's see how the swine and Dine looks when it's all caked over the ribs, just like. Yeah, so I've got the swine and Dine open up now. Smells like it's got a lot of paprika on there. So we're gonna a light sprinkle on one, and let's repeat. I don't know how this is gonna taste. I've never tried it before, but yeah, like I said, like it smells like it's got like a very strong paprika kind of scent to it. So this is just a new one I'm trying out. I usually use the base camp one, but this one's supposed to be specifically for pork. So we're gonna give them a flip, as we usually do. And for Coles cut, these are pretty bloody thick. Let's rotate. Yeah, get me, bastard. Yep. Right. And we're going to be quite generous. I said light it on the very first one. And the way I usually do this, if I do it into a tray, mind the plastic, I'm missing half the top there. That's how it's going to look. So, the way I usually do it, flip them into the dish. These are going to be rotated because I've got a little bit of plastic there. My bad. I didn't peel the plastic off properly. And flip. Go again. And the way I'm going to let this settle, I'll be putting this in the fridge for at least half an hour to 45. Because I want this to soak into the pork. Which it probably wouldn't soak as much as what I want, but there we go. So as you can see, nice and generous. The next scene, you'll see me fire up the Ziggy, just like. Okay, like I said, next scene, right. So we haven't got on there yet, but tonight we are going to be doing the spare ribs, as you've seen in the part just before. In the last snap, we marinated the pork, so-called pork ribs, or spare ribs. So the Ziggy is sitting at now low, middle grill. That's it, quarter burner on the outer burners, and we're going to slap this on. It shouldn't take too long to cook because pork doesn't usually take that long to cook. Now we're going to pre-oil the middle grill. Yes, the Ziggy is quite messy, very black. It should be more grey, but look, the amount of barbecues you guys have all seen, you're never going to keep this thing spoiled, so it is clean to cook on. Alright, and you can see the pork is all nice and spiced up. So we're going to lay these out down the grill, and this should be cooking. Oh, my bad. Oh, we dropped one, but it stayed in the plastic. Oh, lucky. 10-second rule. We're in Australia. We don't run a kitchen chef here. Or whatever you call it. Anyway, so what we're going to do here. Mind you, this is my little bin. This little bucket that hangs on a bike bracket from a couple of my old BMX show bikes. So I do have to empty this thing quite frequently, and if I don't do it, well, my missus, she takes care of that at times, and I'm very thankful for that. So You hear it sizzling away here. And oh no, the paper towel. I've left the marks on that. Ugh, yuck. It's not poo. It is just marinade, so that is quite safe. Anyway, mind the mumbo jumbo. So these don't stick. We lightly spray around. I don't exactly want to flame them up as yet, but you'll keep bursting through. So spray around them, and then what we want to do, just to get these so they don't stick, is even though the grill's got oil, these will stick straight away. So I want to flip them and then re-oil around them. Now lately, I do the whole flame thing for a bit of show, because yeah, it's YouTube content. It looks cool. I love the flame effect, but it does really make the meat taste oily, and I've got to like soak it in paper towel to get rid of a lot of oil. So the trick around this is lightly, just spray lightly around in between. And then if you want to flame it up, motherfuckers, just do this. Just go out in the town. Go. But don't do it too much to the meat, because it will absolutely make the meat taste like oil. It won't kill the actual meat itself for the flavour, but you do get a lot of oil. And the thing is, when you flip these around a lot as well, you've got to keep an eye on them, rotate them, depending on the angle of your Ziggy or your Weber. Mine's on an incline, so I get a lot of back heat instead of front heat. So that's why you always see me constantly just spray it and dose it and spray around it, and rotations flat out, because I get a lot of back heat. So sort of see the line there, I get more heat over there than in the front. But the front's like, there's dead heat. It's always back there, and people always say, oh, why don't you just cook at the back of it? Nah, I prefer cooking middle grill, because your outers, when you're doing indirect cook, you want full indirect. So indirect meaning, once you close that lid, the two outer burners, they're doing the work, while your middle of your barbecue is sort of rotational when you close the lid. So like it's rotating that heat consistently. But you can do indirect with very low heat, but it is still more it's still more direct, if that makes sense to anyone who's watching and anyone who knows how to do barbecues and that. But with what I'm cooking here tonight with pork, anyone who cooks pork will generally know pork is it's a pretty quick cooking meat. It's similar to chicken, a little bit longer with the pork because it's a little bit tougher. But the way I say it, when you cook pork, as anyone will know, you get a knife out and cut right through the middle. If it's white, it's done. If it's really tough, it's chew done. So that's where the oil does come in handy a lot of the times, because it actually soaks in the moisture, and that's why you always want to control the heat. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to cut that middle burner fully off. We're going to turn those outer burners right down low, and I'm going to leave that for a good 3 minutes. I think the trick to pork is a 2-2 flip or 2-3 flip, but that's a full close like cook. So in the next scene you'll see me flip them over, and I'll be just about to take them off, just like snap. Okay, so Ziggs is sitting very low, it's at about 155, which that's not bad for pork. That's really roughly where you want it. Now the golden look you'll see on that is partially cooked, but you'll see that bit of fat there. I really want to crank it right up, and I'm going to set it upright, but I'm pretty happy with the color of the actual pork. So the pork is probably sitting pretty close to medium, but the way I've got it going at the moment, what I want to do, that back one's actually doing really well. What I want to do is I want to put the middle burner back on, and I'm going to crank this one right up. So you'll see there, she's full blast. And I'm going to do something that I don't usually do, because I don't normally cook this kind of cut. Good thing with having grills, if you want to do a cook like this, is you can try and balance it if they hold up. Alright, yeah. I might have fucked this one right up. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to sort of try and bridge it. Now, if you've got certain tools that I haven't got for this barbecue, and I know you can get tools for these. If you want to get that bit of rind on the pork to cook, you can sort of lock it in, but it takes a lot of work to do it. So if you see the way I got that setting, it's like a T. So what you can do is you can actually sit it in there like that, and try and bridge them like that. Just to get your gristle going. Not so much to cook the meat more, just to get that nice bit of the gristle. So you'll see that, and if I could actually put the camera in underneath the grill, it'd be pretty sick. But I have not got a heat-proof camera. So by saying this, there's the flames jumping there right underneath. You can see you've got a nice grilled char mark. But what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to burst the flame under. So right under there and right under there where you've got the cutout of the grill. Well, that one's actually flat plate, but that one there. We're going to try something. We're going to jet flame it. Yes, it's a lot of oil and it's not good. It's not good for your body. But what you can do, you soak the meat in paper towel once it's done, and you can hear it sizzling away. So once you get a couple going like that, you'll see it's starting to brown up a little bit more, and you just rotate them. So one's going like that. You really want these underneath the grill where the flame gets direct to it. So I'm going to move that. That's just flamed out because there's a lot of oil. Rotate. Let's try to go triples in this one here. Crank your burners right up. Just crank the middle burner up. You should get to about 180, 200. Then there'll be one more flip, and then I'm going to take it off. And if it's not the way I want it, well, I'll eat it, because I know that is very close to done. That's sitting around the medium, pretty close to medium right now. So you'll see it and just like snap. Okay, well that's it. The jig is about 210 degrees. So hopefully I've not killed the meat. And as you can see, the flame's coming up. There is a lot of oil burning. It's not so much fat, it's more oil. Because, yeah, oil's got off its head. So what we're going to do is that top end, I'm happy with that. We're going to keep flipping this now. That is actually looking pretty good. This is a very thick cut. This is a very thin cut. What I want to do here, I'm just going to pat it. So if you got the spatula, burst it with the flame when you got the oil all over the meat. What it's going to do there is it's actually going to dry out the oil and bring out the fat in the meat. Now, if you're right with your timing, it won't make your meat too dry. And these are pretty close to done. The gristle, as I tried to say, I wanted that a little bit crispier, but I've cooked at a high temp, so it's going to come out nice and soft. But it's not bad. A lot of people, they don't really like gristle, so they peel it off the side of the bin. I like the gristle. I like the chewy part. I like the fat off that. It just always tastes good. It's sort of like when you have bone marrow, to me. So, just Just keep bashing it down. Alright, and what I do here is, well, once that's done, gas off. Lid closed. Lid's closed for about 30 seconds to a minute. Then what I do here is put some paper towel on the tray, soak up any other excess oil. Yeah, it's a pretty shit job, but anyway. 5-10 second flip, 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 flip. Chuck them on the hot side just to get rid of any excess oil. And then the way this meat's going to look is just like, try to cut this in half while holding the camera. You should not see one bit of pink in this. And yeah, it's just not so much as tough meat for trying to cut through the gristle and any fat in there. Okay, right. And the way the cut will look, the camera's going to capture that. Perfectly white meat with juice. It's exactly the way you want pork. And in my opinion, that is perfectly cooked. I mean, that looks gourmet. I'm going to take that off. As you can see, there's juice, there's oil. And that's why it's going to smoke a lot. So what the paper towel is going to do, the paper towel will absorb a lot of that fat and oil. And that is how I do the pork. Was it pork spare ribs? It's pork spare ribs on DZ3 with the marinade. So please like, share and subscribe, and I'll show you what we're going to do in the next one. Just like snap. Peace.